Idomeneus answered, I know you for a brave man. You need not tell me if the best man at the ships were being chosen to go on an ambush, and there is nothing like this for showing what a man is made of. It comes out then who is cowardly and who brave. The coward will change color at every touch and turn. He is full of fears, and keeps shifting his weight, first on one knee and then on the other. His heart beats fast as he thinks of death, and one can hear the chattering of his teeth, whereas the brave man will not change color, nor be frightened on finding himself in ambush. That is all the time longing to go into action. If the best man were being chosen for such a service, no one could make light of your courage nor feats of arms. If you were struck by a dart or smitten in close combat, it would not be from behind, in your neck nor back, but the weapon would hit you in the chest or belly as you were pressing forward to a place in the front ranks. But let us no longer stay here talking like children, lest we be ill spoken of. Go, fetch your spear from the tent at once. On this Meronius, peer of Ares, went to the tent and got himself a spear of bronze. He then followed after Idomeneus, big of great deeds of valor, as when baneful Ares sailed forth to battle, and his son Panic, so strong and dauntless, goes with him, to strike terror even into the heart of a hero. The pair have gone from Thrace to arm themselves among the Ithari, or brave Phthians, but they will not listen to both the contending hosts, and will give victory to one side or to the other. Even so did Meronius and Idomeneus, captains of men, go out to battle, clad in their bronze armor. Merones was first to speak. Son of Deucalion, said he, where would you have us begin fighting? On the right wing of the host, in the center, on the left wing where I can take it, that the Eugians will be the weakest. Idomeneus answered, there are others in the center, the two Ajaxes and Tafsir, who is the finest archer of all the Eugians, and is good also in hand-to-hand fight. These will give Hector, son of Priam, enough to do. Fight as he may, he will find it hard to vanquish their indomitable fury, and fire the ships, unless the son of Cronus fling firebrand among them with his own hand. Great Ajax, son of Telamon, will yield it to no man who is in mortal mold and eats the grain of the meteor. If bronze and great stones can overthrow him, he would not yield even to Achilles in hand-to-hand fight, and in fleetness of foot there is none to beat him. Let us turn therefore towards the left wing, that we may know forthwith whether we are to give glory to some other, or he to us. Merry ones, peer of fleet Ares, then led the way till they came to the part of the host which Idomeneus had named. Now, when the Trojans saw Idomeneus coming on like a flame of fire, him and his squire clad in their richly wrought armor, they shouted and made towards him, all in a body, and a furious hand-to-hand fight raged under the ship's sterns. Fierce the shrill winds that whistle upon a day when dust lies deep on the roads, when the gust raise it into thick cloud. Even such was the fury of the combat, and might and main did they hack at each other with spear and sword. Throughout the host the field bristled with the long and deadly spears which they bore. Dazzling was the sheen of their gleaming helmets, their fresh burnished breastplates, and glittering shields as they joined the battle with one another. Iron indeed must be his courage. Who could take pleasure in the sight of such turmoil, and look on without it being dismayed? Thus did the two mighty sons of Cronus devise evil for mortal heroes. Zeus was minded to give victory to the Trojans and to Hector, so as to do honor to fleet Achilles. Nevertheless he did not mean to utterly overthrow the Eugaean host before Ilium, and only wanted to glorify Thetis and her valiant son. Poseidon, on the other hand, had went about among the Argives to incite them, having come up from the grey sea in secret, for he was grieved at seeing them vanquished by the Trojans, and was furiously angered with Zeus. Both were of the same race and country, but Zeus was elder born and knew more. Therefore Poseidon feared to defend the Argives openly, but in likeness of man he kept on encouraging them throughout their host. Thus then did these two devise a knot of war, and a battle that none could unloose or break, and set both sides tugging at it, to the failing of men's knees before them. And now Idomeneus, though his hair was already flecked with gray, called aloud on the Danaans and spread panic among the Trojans as he leaped, and among them he slew Othrinoenus from Cabesus, the sojourner who had but lately come to take part in the war. He sought Cassandra, the fairest of Priam's daughters, in marriage, but offered no gifts of wooing, for he promised a great thing, to wit, that he would drive the sons of Eugians willy-nilly from Troy. Old King Priam had given his consent and promised her to him, whereon he fought on strength of the promises thus made to him. Idomeneus in the spear and hit him as he came striding on. His cuirass of the bronze did not protect him, and the spear struck in his belly, so that he fell heavily to the ground. Then Idomeneus vaunted over him, saying, Othrinoenus, there is no one in the world whom I shall admire more than I do you. If you indeed perform what you have promised Priam, son of Dardanus, in return for his daughter, we too will make you an offer. We will give you the loveliest daughter of the son of Atreus, and will bring her from Argos for you to marry, if you will sack the goodly city of Ilium in company with ourselves. So come along with me, that we may make a covenant at the ships about the marriage, and we will not be hard upon you about gifts of wooing. With this, Idomeneus began dragging him by the foot through the thick of the fight, but Asius came up to protect the body on foot in front of his horses, which his esquire drove so close behind him that he could feel their breath upon his shoulder. He was longing to strike down Idomeneus, but ere he could do so, Idomeneus smote him with a spear in the throat under the chin, and the bronze point went clean through it. He fell as an oak or poplar or pine which shipwrights have felled for ship's timber upon the mountains with whetted axes. Even thus did he lie full length in front of his chariot and horses, grinding his teeth and clutching at the blood-stained dust. The charioteer was struck with panic and did not dare turn his horses round and escape. Thereupon Antilochus hit him in the middle of his body with a spear. His cuirass of bronze did not protect him, and the spear struck in his belly. He fell gasping from his chariot, and Antilochus, great Nestor's son, drove his horses from the Trojans to the Eugaeans. Deiphobus then came close to Idomeneus to avenge Asius, and took aim at him with a spear, but Idomeneus was on the lookout and avoided it, for he was covered by the round shield he always wore, a shield of oxhide and bronze, with two arm rods on the inside. He crouched under cover of this, and the spear flew over him, but the shield rang out, and the spear grazed it, and the weapon sped not in vain from the strong hand of Deiphobus, for it struck Hypasenor, son of Hippasus, shepherd of his people, in the liver under the midriff, and his limbs failed beneath him. Deiphobus vaunted over him, and cried with a loud voice, saying, Of a truth Lucius has not fallen unavenged. avenged. He will be glad, even while passing into the house of Hades, strong warden of the gate, that I have sent someone to escort him. Thus did Euvons and Argives were stung by his saying. Noble Antilochus was more angry than anyone, but grief did not make him forget his friend and comrade. He ran up to him, bestrode him, and covered him with his shield. Then two of his staunch comrades, Messitius, son of Eetius, and Alastor,